I am Ibrahim Traoré, and today I'm pulling off your masks.
In just one moment, everything changed. At 7:02 PM GMT, Burkina Faso's national broadcast was cut. The screen went black. Then one image appeared. Ibrahim Traoré standing behind a microphone, dressed in full military uniform, the national flag by his side. His eyes said it all. This was not a man asking questions. This was a man delivering a decision. He didn't greet the nation. He didn't smile. He simply said, "The time for negotiations is over." That one sentence stopped conversations in cafes across Ouagadougou. It echoed through radios in Lagos. It lit up TV screens in Nairobi. Within minutes, Tel Aviv, Washington, and Paris were scrambling for translations. But Traoré didn't wait to be understood. "We cannot allow those who disrespect us to remain among us," he said. "We cannot allow those who undermine African unity to walk freely on African soil. From this day forward, all official Israeli diplomatic presence in Burkina Faso is suspended indefinitely. No applause, no cheering, just silence, thick, tense, like thunder just before the strike. Because this wasn't just a message to Israel. It was a line in the sand. And the man drawing that line wasn't looking for approval. Let's go back. The tensions had been growing for months. It started with Traoré's vocal criticism of Israeli arms shipments into West Africa. Then came public pushback against intelligence cooperation. Israeli companies had long operated in the Sahel, officially for security contracts, but unofficially to hold influence, secure access, and keep control. Traoré recognized the pattern. Africa had seen it before, foreign powers arriving with big promises, only to entrench themselves in the very systems they claimed they were helping. So when Israel refused to respect Burkina Faso's sovereign choices, when it acted as if African nations still needed permission to act, Traoré responded the only way true power ever does. Not with diplomacy, with defiance. And this was no performance. This wasn't for the cameras. "We are not against the Israeli people," he said. "But we are against any state, any actor, that treats African dignity as something to be bargained away." He didn't shout. He didn't issue threats. He simply closed the door. Within minutes, phones were ringing in embassies across the continent. Ambassadors called their capitals for urgent instructions. Inside Israel's foreign ministry, an emergency meeting was underway before Traoré even finished speaking. But the real impact wasn't in government buildings. It was in the streets. In Niamey, Dar es Salaam, and Bamako, youth groups began to mobilize. In Accra, giant screens played the speech on a loop. In Johannesburg, students painted a mural of Traoré with the words, "Africa will not host those who disrespect her." Online, the hashtag Traoré ban exploded, trending in over 50 countries within hours. Even beyond Africa, the world took notice. From the favelas of Brazil to refugee camps in Lebanon, people recognized what had happened. Here was a leader, young, militant, unapologetically African, saying what many had thought for years, but were too afraid to say out loud. You cannot insult a continent and expect open doors. That line hit harder than any bullet. Israel's response followed a predictable script. A formal statement said, "These developments are unfortunate and based on misunderstandings. Israel remains committed to partnerships across Africa." But this wasn't a misunderstanding. Traoré had made himself perfectly clear. "We will not be lectured by those who armed our enemies. We will not be silenced by those who funded our suffering." And he didn't stop there. Just hours after his speech, Israeli tech executives began receiving official notifications of cancelled contracts. 3 Mossad-linked operatives were quietly pulled out of the Sahel, and reports started coming in. 2 more African countries were considering similar action. One Western diplomat called Traoré's move reckless. Another, off the record, admitted what many were thinking. If others follow him, the whole system collapses. And that's exactly what this is. Not just a speech, not just a ban. It's a crack. A crack in the illusion of Western control. A crack in the silence Africa was told to accept. A crack in the belief that this continent would never say no. The illusion is fading, and Traoré lit the match. His message was not about hatred. It was about clarity. This is not a rejection of peace. This is a rejection of exploitation disguised as diplomacy. This is not anti-Israel. This is pro-African. By the next morning, concern had turned to quiet panic. The African Union held an emergency closed-door session. No final statement was released, but the split was clear. Some member states, especially in the Sahel, applauded the move. Others warned of isolation or economic backlash. France gave a vague call for dialogue. The U.S. State Department asked its regional partners for clarification, but avoided directly criticizing Traoré, because they understand something. This isn't just about one man, and it isn't just about one nation, it's a signal. Across the continent, artists, students, workers, even diplomats began repeating the same phrase. We are not your enemy. We are your reckoning. This isn't just rhetoric. It's a redefinition of Africa's place in the world, not as a dependent client, but as a force. And that force is spreading. In Uganda, youth coalitions are demanding audits of all foreign military contracts. In Kenya, every panel in a university debate on African sovereignty quoted Traore's speech. In Senegal, thousands marched through the streets under one banner. Respect is not negotiable, because this was never just about expelling a diplomat. It was about rewriting the rules of engagement, and the rules are changing. This moment goes beyond Israel. It's about every agreement signed in silence, every deal made in distant capitals without African consent, every time Africa was told to pick between poverty and dependence. Not anymore. Traore's decision was bold. It was risky. And it was necessary. Because revolutions don't come with applause. They come with choices no one else is willing to make, until someone finally does. And he did. In the final seconds of the national broadcast, Ibrahim Traoré looked straight into the camera and said, Africa does not seek revenge, but it will no longer tolerate disrespect. This continent will rise, not because others allow it, but because we demand it. Netanyahu, we are not leaving history. We are entering it on our terms. Then the screen went dark. Before you go, drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from. Do you think Traoré went too far? Or was this exactly the kind of leadership Africa has needed for decades? Will other nations follow? Or will this flame be left to burn alone? If this message moved you, if you feel something real is shifting, hit that like button, subscribe to Traoré Uprising, and join a global resistance that refuses silence. Because this isn't just a story. This is history in motion.